Perfect. Awesome. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Greater Metaphysical Store. Today, we're going to talk about the concepts of good and evil and why it's an illusion. So, first and foremost, I want to bring us back to the information that we all know to be true is that everything is a construct of the mind, right? We know that if we observe something, it becomes true, it follows through. And we know that based off science, when a guy was trying to see if he observes light to slide into these two slits, which they did, right? Um, and they went through the slits, and boom, there. But when he didn't observe it, it went haywire, and it went all over the place on the special suit of paper. It's kind of we know that we can, if we observe life in a certain way, it will follow through, right? And the same thing goes with all concepts: good and evil, light and dark, yin and yang, whatever it may be, right? Good and evil is based off of our own concept of what we believe to be good and evil. For example, we believe that murder is evil and bad, therefore it's evil. It is a sin, right? Whereas you helping a woman cross the street is a good thing. So you see what I'm saying is that we as humans have certain concepts that we believe to be good or evil. And I know those are terrible analogies, but that's the best I can come up with at this time. So we are biased in a way because we believe that helping an old lady cross the street is good, and say not help murdering someone is bad, and we consider that evil, right? And the same thing goes in religions. We have a god and the devil, or and that's in certain in the Christian Catholicism religion. If you look at other religions, such as the Nordic belief system, or the Celtic, or even the Greek and the Roman pantheons, they don't have that concept of a god and a devil. That's just been very recently at this time. And a lot of people have come to this belief that certain pathway workings can be used for good and evil, and that's based off your own perception. But there is really no good or evil because, again, everything is based off your perception. It is your concepts, your beliefs, is what makes good and evil um, real to you. And if I do understand that there is a need for the concept of good and evil because at the same time, if we let go of good and evil right now, we wouldn't be ready for that. As us humans would not be ready for that. We wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. I see that. And I say this because right now on the planet with us humans, if we had no concept of good and evil are like the moral compass. They help bring us to a point. It's kind of, I'm going to use a reference from a guy who created the superconscious method. He explained that in order for for us to create something, there must be tension. Correct? Evil, in this sense of a concept, which is a school of thought, is that tension pulling back the rubber band. Okay, and say we're trying to get from war to peace. Well, in order to get from the state of war to peace, there must be, say, a bad guy or some evil person in the world that's going to bring everyone together, right? And then the rubber band snaps back and it brings everyone into a collective decision to be at peace with everything that is around us, right? So, evil is a concept that is necessary to create the tension for us, which is you can consider the evil to be dark matter or dark energy, and the good to be light. So, like again, light and dark, you need darkness in order for light to be illuminated and for that shadow to go away, right? So that's why um, um, that's why evil and good are necessary because evil helps push us towards a, what we as a collective want to achieve or want to go towards. And so that's why it is an illusion, but it's also a necessary illusion. And I sometimes find myself having to double back because it's important to recognize it, but not to become in this thought process. I want to say paradox, but I don't know if that's the right word. But to get too caught up in the concepts of good and evil. It's okay to recognize them, but don't become them because then you get trapped in your own little matrix, and it makes your life literally a living hell. I've used to be, and I still struggle. Sometimes I do still get caught up in it, and I have to pull myself back. But it's by you can pull yourself back and watch and observe both sides of the coin, and sometimes you have to pull yourself back and not live in fear of the concepts of good and evil. Right now, I do believe that us humans are not ready to fully let go of the concept of good and evil because, again, we wouldn't know where to go. We don't know where to go. We wouldn't, right? Evil is like the dark matter that is needed to create the structural tension of the rubber band so it can snap us like so and propel us towards what we want to create as humans. And so yeah, but that's how I have observed and understood about it. I do work with the angels and demons, dragons, and many others. And from what I've understood, and I want to bring this up because the pathway working for the tree of life and the tree of death are not really about good or evil. It's not really about um, this dark secret society using the pathway working of the tree of death to rule the world. And I think that's a load of baloney because I mean there really is no evidence of it being real. I mean, sure, people can believe in that, and that's fine if they believe in that, but I personally have not seen any real factual evidence of them actually these dark celebrities um, sacrificing innocent children and whatnot. I don't know if that's true. Who the fuck knows? And if it is, I mean, damn, that that that's them and that's their belief. They believe that they eat young children's organs, they become young. Cool, whatever. I personally, wouldn't do that because that's my own moral compass talking. But again, um, like I said, there's like from what the pathway workings of the tree of death and the tree of life both are needed to be understood. You can't just do one without the other because again, life and death, good and evil, light and dark, right? So you need to understand both sides of the coin. And I don't like how they're trying to lump the tree of death and that pathway working to cause love. I hope I'm saying it right. Um, in with this conspiracy theory about the dark celebrities, dark cabal, Illuminati, whatever it may be. I mean, I'm sure if people believe in that, they create that, and that's all fine and dandy. And I don't really have an opinion on it because if I give my opinion, then I'm becoming part of the that energy, and I just don't want to be a part of that energy. I just see no need for it. um, so yeah, I mean, in order to understand life, you must understand death. In order to understand death, you must understand life. And both pathway workings of the tree of life and the tree of death, and the ciphers belonging to both sides of the Kabbalic pathway working, which, from what I always understood from the angels and the demons, is that I found that when going through the pathway workings of the tree of death, I found like I discovered so much of my shadow, and I still discover things about myself to this day, and it's like a never-ending journey, which I am very grateful to have that continuous cycle of life and death. And I kind of, for me, in my experience with both sides of both pathway workings, when I was going through the pathway workings of the tree of death and that those sifras, I found like I found such profound release and healing, specifically from my own shadow. It's going to be a different experience for other people. I found that when I was using it and working with the Goetia demons, I had done very profound healing on myself, on my own soul. And then I also was doing at the time the tree of life. So I was going back and forth. I then had to completely run through the whole thing at once, and because I got contacted by Baal and Michael, and they were telling me, "Oh, you need to do one, then do the other." So I did the shadow one first, then I did the one about the tree of death, path of working, and then the Kabbalic tree of life and the Sifras of that. Which again, I think that was a great choice because again, the tree of death and the Sifras and that path of working can be pretty intense. And I don't know. Me personally, I released a lot. I did release a lot of childish. I want to say like I grew and matured really quickly. Well, on that path of working, and then while I was on the tree of life and that path of working, I understood why um, I had to go. Like I could see both sides of the coin, so to speak. So I would encourage you to look into both. If you're someone who is into the occult and or if someone who's very spiritual and does shadow work, or so to speak, but if you're not ready to do intense shadow work healing, don't work with the tree of death and that path of working in the Sifras of that Kabbalic tradition. Um, Now, from what I understood from the tree of life in that perspective, we have Malkuth and all the way up to Kether, right? And from what I understood was that these Sifras are basically concepts like there's one for beauty, there's one for wisdom, there's one for understanding, Keter for I think it was like for heaven, and the king and Malkuth was to represent the kingdom of heaven on earth. And in order to create that kingdom of heaven on earth, you had to go all through all the pathway workings to Keter, and then from Keter back down to Malkuth. And I, this is just me personally, but I always felt like even if you did master one Sephora at that point in time, there's always room to grow. That's me personally, because I found that, you can never fully obtain all the wisdom in the universe. You can never fully obtain that all that beauty in the universe, because I mean, how do I don't want to I don't want to make any statements that are incorrect, but it's all based off my own experience. Is I've always found that there's always room for growth and more discovery. of the self. And that's really what I found, these two different pathway workings of, I think it's the Kabbalah of the Trail of Life, and then there's Q, it's Qilopth, and I hope I'm spelling it right. But there's just two different pathway workings that I would encourage you, if you're wanting to have enlightenment. These two pathway workings are very, 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 very enlightening in helping you understand the universe, how it works, and it helps you with mastery of your life. I cannot get enough of both pathway workings. Of course, I do. I have done both. I've felt like I've graduated from both the angelic pathway working and the demonic pathway working. I do feel that I have graduated. And I'm actually working with dragon magic, which I believe to be like, if the tree of life pathway working and the tree of death pathway working. I'm gonna. There's a guy that I would recommend, and I'm gonna put a poster in the community. He knows way more about it than I do. He can put it into perspective where I really can't, because I do have a problem with trying to make it make sense to a lot of people. I'm not very good with words. I'm more with energy and expression through body, not really so much words, and that's something I'm trying to get over and help communicate more on with words. So, but there's a guy that it could put it all into perspective. From what my own experiences of the Tree of Death, again, it was intense shadow work. It was like super intense, but also very like eye opening, not just about myself, but about the universe. And then also the Tree of Life was very healing and very understanding of my soul, and it's very beautiful pathway workings. Um, Angels and demons are like a proton and a neutron, or they consider the angels to be of the white light, where the demons are of the black color light, and the dragons, I believe, to be the color of red, right? In that representational symbolicism, so they're both on the same wavelength, just one's on one side of this wavelength and one's on the other, but they're both the same energy, just positive and negative. And then with I've been working with dragons and that pathway working, and it's been a rather interesting journey with them, because I have worked with elemental energy before. I have worked with that pretty much my whole life. But then when the dragons came in and there was that energy, um, I was open up to a deeper understanding of the elements and just balance, overall balance. So yeah, I mean, I would have to say, in my honest opinion, I would suggest working with both the Tree of Life and the Tree of Death first before working with the dragons. But you could incorporate dragon magic with both, and that is something I haven't tried yet. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's so much I could say about dragons, except that they've really helped me align my life. Um, they aren't the kind of, and the same with the angels from the demons, they're not going to do the work for you. So if you're wanting something to do your work for you, that's something you would not want to work with them. They don't like do your work for you. You have to put in the physical part of your effort. They'll meet you halfway for sure. But if you're not putting in your part, they're just gonna be like, "Fuck this! I'm out of here," right? So don't um don't think of the dragons and the angels and the demons. Demons. I'm doing air quotation marks because they're not demons, but whatever. Don't expect them to do the work for you. Yeah, so, and I think I should edit this. I thought I should change it to magical knowledge and the ramblings of the occult practitioner because I tend to like really ramble on about different magical practices in one video. So we're just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, like as I was saying, dragon magic has really helped me discover a lot about myself and really balance my life. Actually, like it's kind of good that I've been working with them because it forced me to like do things that I was kind of, well, I was not kind of, I was lazy about doing. One of those things was basically getting my house in order and having more furniture in my home. My house has never felt so orderly. I mean, of course, there's a few things here and there that I gotta get done and fix, but other than that, it's just been, a very beautiful, beautiful experience so far on this journey of life. And yeah, it's just beautiful, really amazing and beautiful. So, I guess I should head off this video. And I know we talked about the concepts of good and evil, and then we ended up talking about um, the Kabbalah, tree of life, and the life and the tree of death, and those path of workings. I just started dragon magic recently, so I can't really give you my opinion on it just yet. But someone who I've been learning dragon magic from is from a guy named Drake, and his channel is called Working with Dragon Mystics, I believe. I'll post a link to him in the community post to give a shout out to my man Drake. And then I'll also post a link to the guy that I also, well, it'll be to his video. And that way, you guys can check their channels out. They're way more versed. I'm like I may know what I know, but they know more than I because they've been in this occult field more than I have. In regards to age, little age, I would be considered a baby, like for real, baby, because they're older than me. I think Drake is 64. I don't remember. But the point is, they know a lot more than I can on say. And I always refer people to people that know more of what I'm trying to express because for me personally, why am I suddenly glowing on camera? I know it's not the light, unless it is the light. Hold on. No, it is not the light. That is definitely not the light. That's interesting. Why is the whole? It's like everything's suddenly becoming brighter for some reason. This is super crazy. Um, Maybe it's just me passionately talking about them and condemning. I don't know. Um, but anyway, like I like referring people to certain channels because they are my elders in my community. These people that I highly respect them. I really, really do. I highly respect them, and they are like the elders of my spiritual network, my occult network, um, of the occult knowledge. Hold them in high regard, and I would encourage you to check out their channels. So, without further ado, I'm going to head off this live stream, and I hope my ramblings have been helpful. But uh, check them out. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Remember, you're powerful creators, manifestors, and you're all that in a bag of chips. Mwah, kisses.